Sometimes I have a tough time feeling proud of myself. Do you know what that, and I think I've had other people call in our show that have talked about that,
What do you think it is?
I don't know. I feel like, I almost feel like there's a disconnect. Like it doesn't even land on me. Or I feel like maybe if I feel like I'm proud of myself, like if I actually feel proud of myself, it'll go against some script that I've always had written or some thing that was always written inside of me. It's like it's almost like it wouldn't, if I wrote on the wall of myself, I'm proud of you, it wouldn't even fucking show up on the wall.
What emotion would you feel if you saw that?
Like what emotion would I feel if I saw what?
I'm proud of myself. Would you go bullshit? Would you be pissed off by it? Would you be annoyed? Would you just
No, I think I'd feel ashamed of myself for even thinking it.
That's interesting. And it produced an emotion in you just now, even when you just thought about it. I saw that flash in your eyes. It's just a little bit of water, a little bit of fluid.
Oh, yeah, dude. Fuck, we cry on here every week. Sorry, dude.
That's beautiful.
No, it's okay. But yeah, we don't have any shame about that.
No, you shouldn't. But I'm saying liquid leaving your body in a public place, as long as it's through your eyes, is not a problem.
That's what I'm talking about, huh? Yeah, don't ask, don't ask.
That's right. But my point is, there's a real anchor for you there. So let me explain it to you. Everybody has what I call an emotional home.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch like a place here and let's say, where the cyclone happens every 2 or 3 years and it wipes out everything, or a tornado comes through?
Oh, yeah.
And you see these poor people, all their stuff's all over the ground and they're picking it up, and you could have a heart of stone not to feel. They rebuild. 2 years again, it happens again. 2 years later, it happens again. Some part of you eventually goes, why don't you move? It's like, why don't you move?
A lot of Vietnam's like that. It floods. New Orleans is like that. It floods.
New Orleans like that. So here's why don't they move? Because it's home. It's what they know. We have an emotional home. We have certain emotions that got built up in your youth. I had 4 fathers. I had a mother that was pretty intense, and I had a lot of emotions that came out of that experience. If I didn't reprogram myself, I wouldn't be sitting here with you today, because my emotional home was not good feelings. It's what I was used to. So even though it didn't feel good, you go there because it's what you know.
Yeah.
It's comfortable. So
it almost felt like I was deserting myself if I felt good about myself, which
right.
is crazy. I'd almost feel like I was leaving. I don't know. Yeah, it's almost like I know those feelings.
No, finish that thought. I'm leaving what?
Well, it's almost like I feel like I know those feelings of not feeling good about myself so well that I don't want to leave them alone, because we always had each other. And it was like, if I leave them, if
have you ever had a friend?
If I leave them, I won't, I don't know. Does that make sense though?
Yeah, it does. You won't what?
If I leave them, I'll just be letting them down. And they're not even real, but they're some part of me inside of me I can't even access. They're like his brothers.
That's right. They're your home, brother.
Yeah.
And by the way, I really appreciate you being so vulnerable, because the people watching there, seeing that, allow them to be vulnerable, because you're a role model of that. It's because you're funny as shit, but to be able to be that vulnerable is beautiful. But let me just tell you something. Those are not your friends.
Yeah.
And you're not going to abandon those parts of yourself. You're going to find these other parts of yourself that need to be in charge. It's not to say that you can't have negative emotions or fears or feelings, but the ones that don't support you, you got to break that pattern. And the way you break the pattern first is you start to see, you get a new experience. If I get you an experience where you feel like you actually felt proud of yourself without those feelings, and there was no sense of loss, and I did that with you for days and days, you'll never go back.
Wow.
Because your brain will go, what the F? I'm not going back to that bullshit. Those weren't my friends. It'd be like, it's like having a friend that beats the shit out of you every single day. And it's like, I'm letting him down if I don't want to beat the shit out of me, right? It's like, oh no, I got to be there for him, because I got to be there so he can beat the shit out of me all the place, right? Yeah. That's pretty much what it's
crazy
happened, right?
to hear, dude. You're like, damn, here we go again.
And so then what happens though is the reason you went for the antidepressants is it's so overwhelming that numbing at least feels a little less. I'd rather see you cry and feel the pain, even though I want you to feel pain as a brother.
Yeah, no, I'm grateful to feel it. I want it out of my system.
That's right.
Yeah.
But the next step for you is drawing a line in the sand of how you really want to feel. So I'll have people in an event write down, I give them like a minute. I go, draw a line down the middle, write down the left side, all the positive emotions you feel in an average week, not once a year, not once a month, the ones you regularly feel, whatever good feelings.
The average emotions in a positive week?
Positive. So what are some ones you feel in a week?
In a week? I feel
at least once a week.
Okay, any emotion?
Positive. Start with the positive.
Positive.
Empowering emotions.
Hopeful.
Okay.
Thankful.
Yeah.
Loving.
Yeah.
And maybe some pride.
Good. And so the pride is sneaking in. Now that's not ego pride. That's pride of like, you're growing.
Well, I'm learning about pride. I mean, it's like I said, it's really hard for me to feel proud of myself,
Yes.
you know?
So stop saying that.
Okay.
Because every time you say that, you're rewiring it back into your body over and over. It's a story.
Yeah.
It's like there's an old phrase that says, tell a lie big enough, loud enough and long enough, sooner or later people believe it. You know who said that? Hitler.
Oh, I think you were going to say Fauci.
Well, same difference.
But yeah, I didn't know it was going to be.
We're aligned on that one, brother.
You're a quicker thinker than I am. But we hear what we're saying.
But
yeah.
the conversation you've said with yourself, you've done. How many times do you think you've said that?
Said what?
That, it's hard for me. I
say it a lot. Yeah, it's because I think it's like having a new story for myself. Part of me is still, there's a heavy bit even to my whole new story, to having a new story, even having some success in my life. It's almost like some of it feels embarrassing, you know?
And some people feel like, the word people use is imposter syndrome. It's all bullshit. It's just fear that you're not enough. We all have that fear, brother.
Yeah.
I feel that at times. I don't feel it much now, but I'm 63 years old and I've done a shitload of things for 40 years,
You built enough pattern.
Yeah, I built up new patterns.
Yeah.
It's like a muscle. Everybody's got the muscle. If you use it, it grows. If you don't use it, you lose it, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't ever disappear, though. It just looks like it's not there. But if you demand it, you push it beyond what it's comfortable with. And that's what you're doing right now. You're pushing beyond your comfort. You were settling for comfort to try to survive. Now you're like, F that. I want more out of this life. I'm not going to settle for that shit. But then you keep telling yourself the old story. So change your story, change your life. It sounds overly simplistic, but it is true.
No, I love it. I appreciate you saying it. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of this chat has been about that. And then,
but look at the positive emotions you wrote down, or you just told me verbally, right? So you're hopeful. Are you playful or funny, or what would be your term around that part of you? Because I didn't hear that part of you. I know it's there.
No, I feel like that part of me became such my work that I haven't had as much free time to be that as I would like to.
On your own. Okay, cool. Well, so those are the positives. What are the negatives you feel in an average week? At least once a week, not once a month, once a year. What are the negative emotions you feel?
Ugly.
Okay.
I feel incapable, angry, and I feel disappointing.
Okay. So which of those emotions is most powerful for you? The positive list or the negative list?
The negative list is more powerful.
And that's true for most people. Watch this. What's an emotion that if it became the dominant emotion in your life, one or two, that would get rid of those negatives, like they would have any power over you? What would be an emotional state? Would it be like courage, or would it be playfulness, or would it be, let's say, joy, or would it be, you've already got gratitude, more gratitude? What would be an emotion that's so strong that it would get rid of the disappointment?
Probably love,
There you go. And that's your core, brother. I didn't hear you say that on the first one. That's all you really want. It's probably why you do this podcast. It's probably why you make people laugh. Me too, by the way. The whole reason I do what I do is I love people and I love to see people happy, because I was so unhappy myself and I got out of it. So I was so grateful. It's like, I feed, 100 million people a year, 100 million meals.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
doing
why you're
that.
charity. Yeah.
I've done 1 billion meals in the last 8 years, right?
Christ, dude. That's what McDonald's did, isn't it? And it was free. They're pretty cheap at McDonald's, but dang, dude.
But I did it not because I'm a good person. I did it because I grew up and I had no money and no food. And when I was 11, somebody came and fed us on Thanksgiving. And I was like, that made me believe strangers care. If strangers care about me, I care about strangers. And so I fell in love with people and I want to make people feel happy. And I know what it feels like not to have food. I know what it feels like to be absolutely depressed and miserable and saying, do I even need to stick around in this life, right? So I don't want anybody else to feel that. So it drove me to find answers, not just for me. Once I found it for me, I wanted to help as many people as I can. But why do I want to do it? Because I love love. Because when you help people that much, I have so much love in my life, it's ridiculous. I get stopped on the street every day and people don't come up and say, oh, I like your show or something. Come up and go, you changed my life. Oh my God, I love you, Tony Robbins. And I always say, no, I didn't do it. You did it, but I'm glad I helped. But I love the love that comes from it.
Yeah.
So we all really want love, but we're afraid we're not enough. And you, my friend, you are growing like a weed right now because you're doing things most people never get out of. And I'm not blowing smoke your way. I'm not a bullshitter.
No, I don't feel that, man. I appreciate you saying it. Yeah.
It's the truth.
It's been
but you got to notice your progress, and you got to stack the good, and then you got to stop the old story. And the minute you start to say that phrase, bullshit, that's an old story. It's not true anymore.
Yeah, I think a part of me is afraid that I'm going to leave a part of me, like if I be successful.
So let's investigate that for a second.
Like if I be successful, I'm going to leave a part of me behind,
Well, then you're effed right now because you're already successful. You got, I don't know how many millions of people, I'm sure, that watch your podcast. You make people laugh all over the world.
Yeah.
You have people that
I think I'm embarrassed sometimes.
But all those emotions are old habits. They're just habits. Yeah. So I understand that. And by the way, when you feel embarrassed or you feel these negative emotions,
yeah,
it also makes you feel for yourself for a little bit. So that's the other part you might be afraid of. Like some people take care of everybody. What do you mean by that? Well, like for some, I don't know if this is you, but some people are so busy trying to make everybody else happy all the time, they don't take care of themselves unless it's a big ass problem. And then for the first time, even if it's a negative feeling, at least I'm feeling for myself, I'm feeling for me. And that might be what you're afraid of losing. But let's try it for a second here. When have I told you you could go back and feel like shit as much as you want and it'll never stop?
All right.
But you don't have to have it be the predominant emotion of your life. That this need to beat yourself up or be ashamed or not be too happy, that it's an old story that got wired a long time ago and has nothing to do with who you really are. But when you keep telling yourself, it's like my friend, I need to take care of it, I'm gonna lose a part of myself. No, you'll never lose that part. There's a part of me that would be a victim very easily. I was beat as a child. My mom was a beautiful woman. I'm not denigrating her.
God,
when she put alcohol together with prescription drugs, she was crazy. And I was 5'1" in high school, believe it or not. I'm 6'7" now. I tell people the difference is, I tell people the difference is personal growth, right? but I had a tumor in my brain that made me grow. But I was this little guy, and she would slam my head against it. She'd put liquid soap down my throat because she said I was lying, and I wasn't lying. And when the person you love most is trying to hurt you, you can do a number on your head. But I look back now, and fortunately, I didn't let that stop me. Mm-hmm. And I didn't settle for that. I struggled for a long time. I look back on it, and I can honestly tell you, if she was the mother I'd hoped she'd been, like if I was well-fed, do you really think I'd be trying to feed a billion? I've done 1 billion people, now I'm trying to feed 100 billion people. You think I would be spending my time doing that if I was a well-fed kid? I don't think so. No. If she had been the mother I want, I wouldn't have become the man I'm proud to be.
Yeah.
So those emotions are not you. They were a part of your past. They were a pattern. It's a pattern of what you do with your body and breathe. But it meets some of your needs to feel yourself or feel sorry for yourself or feel sad.
Right.
You follow me?
It's like a self-pity thing.
A little bit. But what you're really wanting is not self-pity. You're wanting self-love. You just haven't learned how to give it to yourself. My way of doing that is gratitude. Because when you're grateful, love flows naturally.
Is that a common pattern that sometimes, because I noticed over like about 2 years ago, I noticed that one of my biggest addictions sometimes was self-pity. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
I thought I was helping myself by like focusing on myself, but really I was feeling too pitiful.
Yeah.
I realized my alcohol was self-pity. Anytime I didn't.
Also alcohol is a depressant. Mm-hmm. So what's going to do is it feels good in the moment, but then it lowers your energy and your blood sugar, everything, right?
Same for self-pity?
Self-pity, same thing. Now your energy, think about it. Self-pity, if you're in self-pity right now, 0 to 10, 10 is total high energy, 0 is no energy. Where are you in self-pity? Where would you put it?
Oh, 2.
Yeah. Where are you when you're feeling excited?
Where's my energy?
0 to 10, yeah.
My energy when I'm feeling excited is like a 9.
Yeah. Which one do you want to be?
I'd rather be the 9.
Yeah, well, why the fuck why don't you just do that?
I know.
You know?
But that's amazing. No, that's something that we don't think about a lot is like, instead of just looking at the world, why don't you clean the weapon that you're looking at the world with? You know?
You got it. Because people, think of it this way, Theo, people don't experience life. They experience the life they focus on.
Right.
So right now, if you're happy, you are deleting all the things you could be pissed off about or frustrated or worried about in the world. Yeah. If you're unhappy, you're deleting all the things that are great in your life.
Wow.
And our brains delete and they distort and they generalize. So if you don't direct it, you get whatever shows up. What's wrong is always available. What's wrong in the world, it's always available. What's right is also available. It's just which one you pick. And it isn't about positive thinking, because I've never been into positive thinking. People think that's what I do. It's not. I believe in intelligence. And so when you're in a lousy state of mind, you treat people poorly, you don't perform at the highest level, you're not happy. Yeah. When you're in a great state of mind, you treat people better, perform at a different place. And it's one of the reasons humor is so valuable. Yeah. It changes people's state. And then, all of a sudden they're in a different place. They respond in a different place when they're laughing than when they're pissed off.
Yeah.
So why not train yourself to do that? You've trained yourself to find what's entertaining or funny and just about anything is what makes you as good as you are in that area. You have developed patterns of how to do it. You may not even be conscious of them all.
And this goes right into something I was thinking about since it's like the new year, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
And yeah, because people so often say like New Year's resolution, or they're like, but that's kind of like a one and done. It feels like almost outdated, that idea. But how do you I guess, and you just kind of answered, I guess, like how we change our perspective. So we change our attitude, that's really what you need to have a new experience.
Yeah, there's 3 decisions you're making every moment you're alive. Your audience can test this out. The first one is, what are you going to focus on? Now, when I say make these decisions, Theo, I don't mean you're making them all consciously, right? So whatever you focus on, that's what you feel. If you're supposed to meet your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whoever at 7 o'clock, you get there at 7, they're not there. Some people are pissed off. Some people are worried. It's the same event. If it's 7:30 and they're not there, they've not called, they not text. Now what are you feeling? Some people go, I'm really pissed off. I'm really worried.
I'm really single.
I'm really single. It's 8:30, you haven't showed up. I'm full. I didn't wait for the bastard. But the point is, whether you're angry or whether you're worried had nothing to do with the event. It's the habits of your mind. The person who's worried thinks, well, maybe they're in a car accident. The person's pissed off. They did it again. So the first decision you make is, what are you going to focus on? And most people have patterns of focus. So there's 3 I'll give you, your audience can test out. Do you tend to focus more on what you have or what's missing?
What's missing?
Yeah. Do you tend to focus more on what you can control or what you can't control?
Probably what I can control, but it's out of desperation because I feel like I have to control everything.
Well, that's not a bad thing. You can't control everything, right? It's an illusion, but you can influence so much. You can control everything in you.
Okay.
And then the third one, do you tend to focus more on the past, the present, or the future?
The past.
Yeah. So those 3 patterns, if you do all 3 of them, if you constantly look at what's missing, it's hard to ever stay fulfilled or happy.
Yeah.
So you have to always do something to try to make yourself happy, because you're always noticing what's missing. That's just where your focus goes. There's always something missing. There's always something that's not missing. There's always something beautiful. If you focus on what you have, you're going to be more fulfilled. Second one, if you focus on what you can control, what you do, it's why you have your own business. It's why who you are. But a lot of people focus on what they can't control. It's overwhelming. They're stressed out. They think of all those things. So if you constantly focus on what's missing, you can't control, and the past, which you can't change, what that makes is either angry or sad or frustrated or depressed.
Yeah, instead of just being like, I want to have this New Year's resolution, another rule for myself, I need to change the ruler.
That's
right.
You got it.
It's like that's what I need to change. But a lot of people, times we don't even see that we're the ruler.
Yeah. That's a great metaphor. Like if you wanted to go do I don't know if you're into racing at all, but like a Le Mans, a 24-hour race, or a Baja 1000, you could have an amazing car, Ferrari, it's not going to last. You have to re-engineer that car to be able to take on the desert or drive for 24 hours or go to the ones that are in the desert there where they have a pipe so that when you go down, it still can get the air to the combustion of the engine.
Yeah.
We have to re-engineer ourselves to the times we're in. Think about how often you've been trained to say no. What if you trained yourself to say yes? Your life would change. Yes is a different physiology than, I'm not sure, I don't know, let me think about it. Think of something where you feel explosively excited. Does your body move up or down? Up. Did you extend or collapse? See, people come to me all the time and they go, hey, I just feel so down all the time. Why do you think I feel so down? Or someone says, I'm so excited. Why do you think I'm so happy, right? Literally, the way you move is the first pattern. Everything's patterns. Every problem on earth that man has created, man can solve. We've proven it over and over again. People get fearful and scared and they live in the fear, and then the doers, they go find the solutions. And those solutions people, those yes people, have a wholly different state. I want you to jot down the 3 skills you want to master in your life or pass on to your children or grandchildren. Skill number 1, pattern recognition. When you can recognize patterns, you will not be stressed because you're going to understand what's really going on. You're going to understand that things happen in patterns. And you'll recognize the pattern, and when you know what the pattern is, you'll have the second skill, pattern utilization. Once you can recognize a pattern, it's not chaos anymore. Once you can use that pattern, you can succeed. I'll give you an example. Think of anyone that you think is masterful at anything. A writer, a director, an actress, a singer, a great scientist, a great financial trader, a great businessman or woman. What makes them great is they know everything is patterns. If you just run with your emotions, you're gonna be screwed. So we gotta get ourselves to this weekend recognize patterns. There's some patterns in you that don't serve you. How many got some shit you don't like that happens within you here? Make some noise if it's true. How many have lots of good things you do like in your life today? Say aye. So we wanna find the ones that we don't like and move them out. They're just patterns. You're not angry all the time, but you might get angry when you get, quote, triggered. Triggered is the stupidest effing word I've ever seen because it makes you a total victim. You're not triggered, you just have a habit. You have a habit of responding to people who use that tone of voice, who use those words, who use that story. And if you spend your whole world trying to get other people not to trigger you, good luck. You'll always find a way to get triggered. What's better is rewire yourself, rewire the pattern, and give yourself freedom. That's the game that we're gonna play here. This is not a game of just sitting around and going, oh, but this was done to me. It doesn't matter what was done. What matters is what are you gonna do with it, right? And then the third skill is you become a creator of patterns. And then you're masterful. Then you're the best in your business. Then you can do things no one else does because you're not limited to what everybody else does. You create a new way. That's what the greatest business people do. That's what the greatest musicians do. The dancer, the Michael Jackson of the world, he knew every movement. He knew exactly what it would do to you. A great musician knows which upbeats, downbeats are going to produce what emotions. Great director knows if I come in close or far away, fast or slow, how to change your emotions. They know exactly the patterns, and that's why they're the best on earth. And all of us have patterns, but some of us are unaware of them. Some are good, some are not so good. By the way, science now says about 60% of what we do is habitual, roughly. That means we've done it over and over again. We keep doing it. That's why our life doesn't change. What's great about a habit? A pattern. You don't have to think. What's bad about it? You don't think. Some areas are good not to think. You've automated. Let's put it aside. Some places we might want to bring it up and change it. So there's a habit you don't like, let's shift it. And by the way, there's not just patterns in your emotions. See, our beliefs control everything because beliefs are just patterns too. They're habitual things you've told yourself so often now you feel certain they're true. How many of you had beliefs sometime in the last 10 years, a belief that you would have fought for, that today you're almost embarrassed you believe that? How many have a belief like that somewhere in your life here? Say aye. How many have some beliefs that intellectually you know better, but emotionally they stop you at times? Who can relate to this here? Say aye. But it's all patterns. And when you realize it's patterns, it's nothing wrong with you. There's no one in this room that's broken. There's no one that needs to be fixed, and I'm not your guru to come do it for you. All you need is to change a few patterns, and once I show you what they are, you'll do it. Patterns can be changed. If you make it yourself, it's hard to change you. It's easy to change a pattern. You don't need to change you. What you're calling you is probably a pattern. You are more than your patterns. You are more than anything you've said or done in the past. Who's ever done something so stupid, so terrible, so whatever, you hope no one will ever know? Raise your hand, make some noise if that's true. Yeah, but if you don't raise your hand, you lie about other too, don't you? Come on. So the bottom line, we've all done dumb things because people do the best they can based on the state they're in. Smart people can act dumb when they're in a dumb state. Do you ever forget your own home telephone number or how to spell a difficult word like the? And then you get it a few seconds later because you're in a different state. So pattern states we're going to look at. But I also want you to know there's larger patterns, especially those of you that are fearful about the world right now. So think about this. Our ancestors went from hunter-gatherers who were barely surviving to thriving on the planet when they recognized one pattern. The pattern of the seasons. See, up until that time, we couldn't plant because you could plant and it didn't work. In fact, it didn't work 3 out of 4 seasons. But one time, somebody figured out, wow, if I plant in the spring, I protect in the summer, I can reap in the fall, save some of that for winter, then we don't have to wander the earth looking for new. We could stay in a place and build communities and cities and countries. That one pattern of the seasons changed humanity. Just being able to recognize the pattern and then what? Use it. So from 0 to 21, that's a time of creation. That's when maybe you're protected. Not all of us were. Some of you had tough childhoods. I did too. But most people have a certain amount of protection. Someone's looking out for you. You wouldn't have survived. And you grow and you're taught. You learn. But the learning is someone teaching you how to think and be. But once you get somewhere between 18, 19, 20, 21, somewhere in that range, you start to leave that little spring and you enter the summer. And the summertime, basically 22 to 42, roughly. Some people start earlier. Some start later. That's where you go out and test everything you were taught. You go, you know what? They all told me it's like it's bullshit. I think I can do this. And by the way, in this early stage of summer, you're invincible. Because you know you're going to become the prime minister, you're going to become a multi-billionaire, you're going to have 5,000 relationships, you're going to have the greatest life ever humanly known, and then you have your first relationship and go, holy shit, this is what this is about? And you discover maybe you're not quite as invincible as you think you are. So this summer, by the way, when you hit the summer, you're the soldier of society. You're going to work, you're learning and growing, you're testing your own values, you're getting into relationships for the first time, maybe starting to have kids. The next season is 43 to 63. That's the fall. That's a reaping time. If you planted during the spring and learned, and you kept growing in the summer and didn't give up, then in the fall, you're going to reap. But if you didn't work hard in the spring and summer, you're going to weep in the fall. It's going to be tough. But this is a time when most people hit their power, 43 to 63. Does that make sense? That's when you're power. And then 64 to 84, or maybe 104 or 120. The oldest living humans are 120. And that's when you become really the person who mentors people. You're the storyteller, you're the leader, you have so many life experiences, you can really be a gift to people's lives. And you're not trying to prove yourself anymore, because by that stage, if you don't know who the hell you are, you're screwed. The place of the most unhappiness, according to studies, is 22 to 42, by the way. So if you're in there and you're not happy, you can change that, but it's not new. It's when you're trying to figure out who you are, still prove yourself. If you develop really well during spring and summer, fall, you'll know who you are. And by winter, you'll be crushing it and having a good time, and you won't be trying to prove anything. You'll just be serving, and that'll give you great joy. Repeat after me. Now I am the voice. Now I am the voice. I will lead, not follow. I will believe, not doubt. I will create, not destroy. I am a force for good. I am a leader. Defy the odds. Set a new standard. Step up. Step up. Step up. Step up. Step up. Now I am the voice. Now I am the voice. I will lead, not follow. I will believe, not doubt. I will create, not destroy. I am a force for good. I am a leader. Use your whole body. Defy the odds. Set a new standard. Step up. Step up. Step up. Do it again. Now I am the voice. Now I am the voice. I will lead, not follow. I will believe, not doubt. I will create, not destroy. I am a force for good. I am a leader. Defy the odds. Set a new standard. Step up. 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 Your voice will not tell you the bullshit that the old voice told you. Feel who you are now. Feel the truth of who you are. And then just for a moment, maybe it's a good time to give thanks. Both to the part of you that's had the courage to face the things that are uncomfortable and grow. The part of you would put yourself in a room to try to find a way to make things even better, even though your life is obviously great in so many ways. The part of you that's hungry for more and won't settle. That's a part to acknowledge in yourself and thank within yourself. The part of you kept going even in your most painful times. The part of you when it seemed impossible that wouldn't give up. Give thanks for that part of you, that strength in you. It's always there. As I said, problems are not permanent. Only your soul is permanent. There's nothing that can stop you long term when you have the right mindset and action. But also, it might be a good time to also give thanks to grace. Every one of us in this room has done our part, but we also live in a place of grace where we drive on streets we didn't pave. We read books of people that have now died who gave their life so they could teach us. We tap into an internet for answers that someone else created. We are born in an incredible time in human history where any man and woman can shape themselves into what they want to be. The answers are there. It just requires hunger and drive and never giving up and having a higher purpose than just ourselves. So just for a moment, while we're proud of what we've done, let's give thanks for the grace that we have, for the beauty, for whatever you believe has created you and given you this gift called life. Just for a moment, maybe take a moment to give thanks to whatever you believe has given you this beautiful gift called life. With all its colors and shapes. Breathe the way you'd be breathing if you felt totally blessed in this life. If you knew everything that had happened had been a gift, even the problems, because they made you grow, they made you find another part of yourself. Step in your body and just feel such gratitude for this beautiful life called yours. With all its shades and colors, ups and downs, it's still gorgeous, is it not? And there is a destiny for you that's unfolding, isn't there? Perhaps an expanded one now, without the limits of the fears. Breathe deep. Maybe you have a new prayer. Maybe your prayer is just 2 words. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you for this beautiful, amazing life. Thank you for these insights. Thank you for the hunger and drive you've given me. Thank you for the answers. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the strength. Thank you for the truth that sets me free. Give thanks in whatever way is appropriate for you based on your beliefs. Pour your love and gratitude. Something's given us the gift of life. We give back what we do with this life and our gratitude for it.